Hey kids, it's your Uncle Johnny one more time, and today I'm writing some jazz music here on my channel. Welcome back, thanks for tuning in. I make easy to use music templates for creators who use Ableton Live and Reaper, which is the software I'm using today. And as you can hear, it's got a bit of a old-fashioned sound. I'm working on a game today, a point-and-click game set in the 1930s. That's the brief for the game. So I'm adapting an old piece of music that I wrote a while ago, and my goal today is to record the piano and do a rough bounce, send it to the client for feedback. I can't tell you much more about it, but I'm quite excited about it. It's a 2D point-and-click game, and usually I submit music for games, but I don't get like custom commission jobs, so this is pretty cool. So so starting with just this thing of like, have a goal, you know, for whatever you're trying to do. Have a goal. My goal today is just to get this piano part recorded, so let's get on it. Let's get that in shot. Okay, I'll just turn up the piano a little bit while we record this. And I've also got to set the record mode to overwrite. So MIDI overdub. Let's go for it. That should do it. Just one or two bum notes, let's change those out. Okay, I'll take it from here. Simplify. Okay, now I do actually have a guitar lick that I recorded yesterday during yesterday's stream, and I'm going to enable that now so we can hear how it sounds with the piano, and if it clashes we're not going to use it, or we can move it. Here it comes. Okay, so there's a lot of clashing there, so let's just see if we can mute some of this piano stuff and hear how it sounds just with the guitar going in the background. Gotta take out a couple more notes here. Oops. And it's nice to have a little feature in there. Maybe we can double that up with the piano. So now I've got to just reverse engineer what I played on the guitar and play it on the piano. Let's just get that up in there. So it's going to be here. Cool. I'm going to just tilt this guy a little bit over that way so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, cool. I think I got it. Let's just get a 2-bar intro, 1-bar intro. There we go. That should be it. We could also consider doing a harmony there. Maybe there's scope for harmony, but let's see how it sounds. Oops, just deleted the whole thing. Sorry. There we go. This is where it gets a bit tricky with MIDI notes. Anybody got a script for deleting muted MIDI notes? That would be super rad. Haven't managed to get too much into Reaper scripting myself, but it is quite useful. If you're into code and you have like a coding background, you can supercharge Reaper by having there's a console that allows you to like create your own scripts. Much more playful with the harmony. I'm going to go for a harmony. Just wish me luck. Okay, we need a little bit more lead time here. Take the mouth bigger. And how about... Yeah, let's leave it on for now. And we're just going to do some. Okay, we want to loop that section. Give ourselves a little bit of breathing room and do a take. No, didn't like the ending notes over there, so let's change that back. Okay, cool. So yeah, we got something here. Okay, and then we got a nice little stab. So fine, now we just mix that down a little bit so the piano's not so loud. Take that to the left. Yeah, it's clashing a little bit with the guitar, so let's just mute the guitar again for now. The thing with MIDI is it is cleaner, put it that way. It's very hard to make live instruments sound clean. You gotta have zero background noise and experience in miking them up and that kind of thing. That's one of the reasons I always struggle, because when you translate these types of soundtracks to like mobile games, where it's quite a high stakes game, trying to make things sound good on like a monophone speaker, you've got to exaggerate everything. And when you're trying to recreate old-fashioned music like this, that becomes harder, because old-fashioned music is a real mess. It's real mush. Things were often recorded in the same room with one microphone or limited number of mics, and certainly not every instrument or every channel had its own special treatment, its own reverb and EQ, and the medium, the physical media that they were copied to, like, you know, wax vinyls or whatever, they introduced all sorts of flaws and artifacts that made it sound the way it does. So this isn't an exercise in trying to reproduce an old-fashioned sound, a production trick. This is very much just trying to, you know, rely on the tropes by, you know, playing the stereotypes, making it sound like something recognizable, which is in this case the kind of roaring 20s, 30s, 40s. It all kind of mushes into one. So it's relying on stereotypes, and one thing that I, you know, certainly is missing from this piece already is a drum kit. So what we're going to do next is add a contact instrument called Abbey Road Drummer. And we're going to just do a little bit of routing real quick. So I'm turning it off the master send and instead taking it to the pre-master. And I'm just going to move that right up to the front over here so that I can work with it. So yeah, I'm a little bit out of practice with Reaper because I haven't been doing it daily, but I'm starting to do these streams again quite regularly now, so bear with me, please, and I promise I will remember all my shortcuts in good time. Okay, so I'm going to show you, well, let's get this guy over here, and no, that was a stupid move. Undock it. Show it again. Okay. We don't want to dock it. We want to just have it there. Yeah, all right. Cool. So there is a contact instrument called Abbey Road Drummer, not to be confused with Studio Drummer. And there we go. Early kit 60s. Okay, so this is even like we don't actually need the full kit. I'm going to use the light kit. It's quite a commonly used instrument, which will bring a lot of life to this track, obviously. And I'm going to send a few versions to my client who can then decide which direction to go. So I'm going to give them three sort of basic options. One is just a general harmony rhythm section track. The other one is an option with the actual melody, the piano that I just recorded. And the third option will be with or without drums, so we can hear how it sounds on its own, but also in a kind of a bigger context. All of these options can be, worked on and included in the game if needs be, or we could just use one of them to keep it simple. Okay, so we can see what we're playing here, which is quite nice. This is a drum kit, and all these colors at the bottom here will tell you where on the keyboard to play if you want certain sounds or regions. So you can hear how that sounds so much like an early drum kit, doesn't it? Alright, so we're going to try and... This is very much sounding like a very boomy recording, like something that might have been recorded in a ballroom or something. So let's just get a basic swing rhythm going here. Like that. Okay, hi-hat's a bit loud. This is going to be cool. I'm enjoying this. And the thing with the this kit is it doesn't have a dedicated channel for... it does actually, sorry, hi-hat. But it's got overhead mics too. So this tells you how much of the sort of ambient sound you're getting, and this is more of a dedicated channel. So that's what we're going for. Now we're in kind of like Broadway show tune kind of territory. Sounding not bad. Okay, cool. So let's just do a little quick take of that, and also we just extend out the loop so that we're not driving ourselves nuts with 3 bars. It's sounding a little bit vintage already, which I like. Kick is definitely going to need work, so let's start with this. Okay, cool. Take that back one take. And there were 1 or 2 slip-ups there. Let's examine them quick. This is good. So it's a leitmotif. Wait, listen. A little bit out of time. So actually I'm going to go ahead and quantize this stuff. You quantize with Q in this mode. 1/16 is the value, so that's good. And I am also going... Now it's going to go... It's going to sound like a machine gun. So let's change it to a swing rhythm. And now we're just listening for... We're listening for, incorrectly played moments, which we can then incorporate into. So I'll show you what I mean. There are 1 or 2 mistakes in here. Now, it's a mistake to write off mistakes when you're writing music, because mistakes are kind of where the magic can lie. I'll show you what I mean. Here's an idea. Okay, those are clearly quite early. Let me just scale this back to like 1. That's what I'm looking for. All right, so I'm going to take that patch over there, that part over there. I'm going to use that as the basis for our loop. So I'm leaving a little bit of room there because I'll probably have like a crash cymbal or something like. Let's have a gentle crash there. Okay, cool. So what I mean here is this idea of the hi-hat coming a bit late. This one coming a bit early. Okay, so see, this one over here comes a bit early. You know what I mean? See, there we go. So I made a mistake there, and I think that sounds much nicer when you play it. I'm going to just group these two. Join this guy here. Join. Oops. Dude, I'm so behind on this group. There we go. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's the wrong one though. It needs to be on the very last one. But the idea is there. The idea of playing that note earlier. Let's try it again. Back, please. We're going to just copy this guy over here. That should work right there. Try to take it back. Okay, I'm editing in the wrong space here. I'm going to just open up the inline editor. This one over here. Cool. This is where I want to be. All right. Cool. Okay, let's keep this going, kids. That's what I want. It's a little bit early like that. That's it. Now we want to randomize some of this velocity so that it doesn't sound too much like the same sample being played again and again. A little bit of trouble with that. And a little bit of variation in velocity. Cool. And we're gonna duplicate that. Okay. Good, so you get the idea. What we got going for us now is a... Oops. Might have just duplicated the whole thing. We've got this drum kit going for us, which is quite cool, and I'm just having trouble navigating because I'm out of practice and because I'm 40. This is what happens when you turn 40. Okay, but the point is we're getting the music made. That's all that really matters. Cool, there we go. And I'm going to just group all of that. Cool. Suddenly not happy with the amount of velocity. That's what we want. Just something a bit subtle, you know, not, it's just the idea of drums. It doesn't have to be like blaring. Okay, cool. Now we've been listening and mixing in mono mode, and I'm going to switch over to stereo mode now. Because you can hear the whole thing in stereo. So what we could do here is send. What I'm just realizing is that cool, that's fine. That's actually fine. Now when you're doing this kind of work for other people and you're not just doing it for the love of it yourself, one of the mistakes that you can fall into or you can make is spending way too much time finessing the details before you send it to the client. It's nice to be able to hit it out the park with a client and impress them off the bat. But often what happens is you end up going too far in a direction that they're not into. And so you actually end up backpedaling and losing a lot of time. So it's about efficient work here. I'm considering this piece done for now. We've got a concept that we can send over to him, and that's fine for now. So I'm going to think about moving on to the next one now. And kind of looking forward to it. It's almost like a silly kind of piece, but the character that I'm scoring it for is on the surface is quite a jovial fellow, and gets along with everybody, but under the hood might be the villain, might be the killer. This is a murder mystery set on an ocean liner, so I'm kind of going to bring that to the music. I don't want to be too deep about it because these are short loops that are going to get played again and again. Each scene in the puzzle game is really just a couple of minutes tops, so we only hear the loops a couple of times. I'm not going to try and bring too much depth to the composition. It's not an Academy Award-winning film, or maybe not yet, but that said, it is always nice to hide your own Easter eggs in the music. So if there's if you can bring in, for example, a clarinet is a good instrument to depict underhandedness or cunning. It's got a very smooth sound, it's very kind of charismatic. In Tchaikovsky's Peter and the Wolf, the clarinet actually represents the cat, and as we know, cats are a little bit ambiguous at times. They can go either way. So yeah, that type of thing is what might influence my decision about how to score it. But for all intents and purposes, the predominant rule here is just stick to the stuff that people know, stick to the tropes, stick to the stereotypes, and don't think too much about it. So I'm going to continue with the stream now, but it's pretty much going to be a little bit more admin. So it's a work stream, and I can't really spend too much more time explaining what's going on. So if you tuned in up till now, thanks very much, and you're welcome to follow along and drop me a comment if you're interested in what I'm up to, scoring a 2D point-and-click adventure game. My channel is packed full with links to all of the templates I make. These are easy to use music templates for creators such as myself. You import them into your system, into Ableton or Reaper, and you can pretty much instantly start editing them yourself, and you can even release them if you want. They're copyright free, you won't get flagged on YouTube. So go ahead and check out the link in the YouTube description, and there's a link to a bunch of free stuff and also a link to my Patreon, and I'm really looking forward to my first patron. I've kind of just started doing these streams more regularly, so spread the word, and if you're into what I do, drop me a couple bucks a month, and that will help fund my work in bringing copyright free and easy to use Ableton and Reaper music templates to the community. Cool. So thanks very much, and like I said, you're welcome to stick around. I'm just going to get on with some of the more admin sound for one of the other leitmotifs. Cool. Right. This was the influence. Yeah, Peter and the Wolf, that's right. Okay. I've got to kill the sound track so that it doesn't get flagged on YouTube. Cool, so I've just been listening to Peter and the Wolf by Tchaikovsky in order to get a reference for one of the leitmotifs that I'm writing. And I've got a general idea of how to go about this now. In other words, the instrumentation I'm going to be using is orchestral, and it relies on the clarinet. There's also an oboe and a lot of string pizzicato. So that's kind of what we're going for here. I've loaded up a patch here called Orchestra Lite, which is my it's a native instruments patch template that I've come up with. And another one I want to do is a pre-master. And stick that over there. Cool. So now, first thing I do is I root the root Orchestra Lite to the pre-master instead of to the master. Like that. Flip sides so we can have it all clear. Cool. And now I've got access to strings, for example. It's all pre-set up. I'm going to also just get rid of all of these mastering chain plugins, just turn them off for now. And we can see basically what I'm doing here. Cool. So first things first, I would like to get some pizzicato in there, and that has a key switch value of C7. That means that when I hit C7 on the keyboard, which is going to be up here, that changes, well, I hit the keys up on the top end of the keyboard, which you can't see, but it's here, and that changes the value of the articulation, which you can see in this little bar over here. So I want pizzicato, and more importantly, I want pizzicato to be recorded. So what I just did now was I recorded a little section of pizzicato, which I'm going to now move, so lengthen it out and move it over to bar 5. Turn on snap so that it snaps to grid. And that means that everything I do going forward is going to record straight onto that that articulation. That's kind of what I need. I'm also going to change this to call this piece Lord Cardigan, because that's the name of the character. Spoiler alert, not that anything really got spoiled. Cool, so let's take a look here. If I change the articulation to tremolo, for example, and I play it, then automatically, as it passes by this key switch articulation, it switches it back to pizzicato. So this is how you do kind of more complex orchestral stuff where, you know, you're emulating strings that are changing their articulation. Okay, let's get into some two-note pizzicatos. So that sounds good. I'm going to start with that key, which is kind of an F sharp minor, which is related to the previous key of A minor. No, okay, so these string patches sound so nice, but we want it to be more cheerful than that. That's more sinister, but we can work out. That's an idea. So we're going to work our way down a minor scale. Work our way starting in the major key. So let's keep it simple. I'm going to change key to G, because at some point I might actually play a bit of violin on this, and then it's going to be a nightmare if I try to do it in F sharp minor. On the violin, F sharp and C sharp are pretty much the keys that you learn last. Okay, so let's go with that. G, F, E flat to D. So that's the kind of blues scale coming in here, the minor of the G, B flat, then becoming a major. So this is a tonality I can like. I can enjoy because it's playful and bluesy, but at the same time it's duplicitous. Is he a positive or a negative character? We don't know. So that suits the vibe. That's something that I can draw on. Okay. So let's end it with that. So we'll go there. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's try that. Okay, I'm gonna have to switch up, down a level to get the bass note in there. Bum 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 dun 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 dun. Okay, that can be a kind of an opening sound. Click on. Oops. What is click again? T. There we go. All right. Let's make sure the tempo is right. Dun 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 dun. Three, four. Okay, I've got something there. Dun, dun. Dun, dun, bum, bum. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's go bum, bum. Change that up a level. Not up a level, at least up a... Dun, dun. Okay. Change it back a bit. No, it doesn't flow well enough, okay? Okay, let's go back to the idea of a loop. There's a lot of back and forth in this kind of work. Aha, I've made a mistake in sharing this with you. I have neglected to share restream. Lots to think about when you're doing live streams, especially when you're changing projects midway through. You should now hear some audio that you didn't hear before. Sorry about that. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so what we're gonna do, let's keep this going. Bum 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 dun dun. Okay, we're gonna do a key switch over here, which changes it from tremolo soft sustain. Okay, good. So we'll do a soft sustain tremolo over there. I think it's this one, yeah. Oh no, the wrong one. This one. Okay. Where's my key switch gone? There it is. Okay, good. Fine, back to the beginning. And we've got to delete okay, so the correct way to do that is using this one. Good. And we'll just do a basic little what we need now is not the hold pedal, but we're going to have to open this up and do a modulation wheel to add that to here. Modulation wheel is this actual wheel on the keyboard over here that allows you to create builds and swells with this kind of orchestral music, although in this case this keyboard doesn't have a working one, unfortunately. So I need to add mod wheel, which is there. Now what we should get is the ability to just kind of keep it low. Yeah, let's keep it low for here. It's going to automatically... There we go, cool. That's what I'm after. Just delete all of those. Envelope. Okay, good. Okay, and I can just make a little swell here. Just a little gentle swell over there. Okay, let's take it back to the start. Over here, got to insert a marker over here to then serve as the beginning. 4, 3, 4. In the wrong place. Cool. Cool, let's get rid of that. Just doing a bit of admin quick. And there we go. So I've got the actual piece starting at bar number 5. And this swell over here is, we've actually got to group those two, that's fine. Let's take it back to the start. Okay, good. We can take this entire modulation another thing that I'm not quite a fan of right now is the actual effects. You can hear there's a lot of reverb. We want this to be much more dry. There's another parameter here called brightness that allows you to bring out cool. And we're getting there now. One issue that I had there was it didn't sound quite right didn't sound like it started in the right place. So you can see how much of this stuff is actually not playing an instrument, it's programming instruments. But for now, okay, I've missed the articulation there. For now, let's just get something down. This is quite sinister, so let's bring out a woodwind to try and bring a lightness to it. Okay, the woodwind is too high. Alright. Just the woodwind, please, and now we can switch to the woodwind patch over here. You can see the articulation is C#-1, which means I need to bring my, there we go, there's the articulation I'm looking for. This is a woodwind ensemble section, so it's going to sound like a combination of different instruments, which is fine. We can always switch out instruments at a later stage. This is just a proof of concept. So for what we're going to do now is just loop this section over here. Definitely going to need to bring that up. And I'm going to turn the click off while we edit. Don't need that anymore. I see what the problem is here. We have also, I've got to reset. Every time the loop starts, I need to reset So let's reset the articulation. Otherwise it's going to sound... That's what we want here. Now the problem is that I've overwritten one of the notes, so I've got to change. Oops. Good. That can all be deleted, and the start can be there. Cool. Great. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try and make it sound a little less sinister. We can make it more cheerful. Maybe a bit like Then I'm looking for a melody now which plays around with major and minor. I'm just going to noodle around for a while. Let's see how it goes. Not too colorful. When I write melodies, I try to think in terms of like this is inspired by classical music, so less of the like swingy syncopation and more sort of straight no. No. I like that ending. Okay, we'll try and end it with that. That's it. Second half. Okay, again. Okay, I love that. I love. Okay, let's just get that down. So here we go. Click. Love it. You do. 3, 4. And then we'll end with that. So I'm piecing this melody together. too many notes. Just okay, good. This is such a luxury, I'll tell you, being able to sit and compose like this. Did a lot of this in the past, mainly for this audio drama called La Frisian Chronicles. You should check it out. But it's been a good long while since I've had like even an hour or two to do this. Sometimes it takes getting a job to get off your ass, and that's what this is, a job. A job which I share behind the scenes with you guys. Okay, let's take a top. I like that. That's good, yeah. What is the note that we're on there, isn't it? That's the D. Let's just hear. Let's try that out. Do 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 do. Yeah, let's try that out. I'm gonna lead with the melody this time. Normally I lead with the harmony or the bass, but let's see where this goes when we do 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 do. So I don't think that should be do do. Maybe it should be do. Let's take it up so it doesn't tread too much in the jazz side of things. It's more on the classical side of things. Do do. And we're gonna try this again. Cool. Okay, there's a little bit of a disconnect happening in this, but I think it's not bad for a start. I might just mull over it for a bit and figure out if it's got legs. So that's I mean, that's really all you need if you're making these kind of simple recordings. Just make sure it's musically interesting, especially if it's a loop-based composition. Like, I mean, the greatest example of this is the Super Mario theme tune, which is like, it's like under 20 seconds, the Mario music, and it's just so packed. It's so economically packed, full of rhythmic and melodic diversions, triplets, dotted rhythms, these big leaps, chromaticism. It's all just in this one tiny piece of music. It's very hard to fail to appreciate. So take a look at the Mario music if you're in for inspiration. And believe it or not, I would consider this piece influenced by that, with this timing discrepancy over here. So you got 5-bar repetition instead of a 4-bar, which would be more typical or more like loop-based dance music. And it can get even more interesting than that. We've got chromaticism in here. We've got changing of keys. It straddles the sort of jazz and the classical worlds, at least in my mind. I mean, I hope that doesn't sound too like pompous or anything, but it makes sense to me. It makes sense to my musical understanding. So right, what we've done today, I'm going to kill it now. I've got to get on with things, but what a cool session it's been. I really, really love doing this kind of stuff and sharing it with you. So far today, I have started the theme, the leitmotif for Lord Cardigan, who's a character in a 2D point-and-click adventure game that I've been commissioned to score. And I also did some closing work on Anna, who is another character, and her swinging jazz theme. Let's give that another little listen before we shut down. So I should be able to hear it here. Something like that is very cool, yeah. Cool. Cool. Sprightly, young, adventurous woman. And then the perhaps duplicitous but charming Lord Cardigan. Stately, but also a little bit possibly dark. And we'll turn off the reverb on the woodwind section. Oh, it was off. Okay, so then I'm just... tightness is attack. Okay. Yeah, we obviously need more, on that. But today's mission was to make a little bit of progress on this game, and yeah, really glad if you managed to join in, or if you're watching this at a later stage. Super cool to have you join or check out my channel. I'm going to be doing more live streams, so if you're into this kind of thing, obviously subscribe or tell people. And yeah, the main purpose of this channel is to provide music templates to people, other creators like me. I get super excited when people use the music things that, the pieces of music that I've written in their own compositions, or they adapt them to their own needs. So I release templates via Patreon and Gumroad. Check out the links in the YouTube description if you want to check out some of the free stuff. That's also up there. Otherwise, cool to see you. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, if you get this at a later stage, leave me a comment. It really warms my heart to see that people are, checking out the things that I'm doing. Cool. And that's it for now. I'll see you at the next stream.